Yeah, speaking of terrible human beings, some sad news today, fellas. Johnny Polio is no longer with. Oh wait, no, he was killed by the parents of his victims. He is back. No, Jerry Lee Lewis is no longer with us.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
It's a shame. Like he was really good. Like he's like my third favourite paedophile rock star after Gary after Gary Glitter and Bob Dylan.
Oh, you bastard! Fucking bastard!
Well, thank you. I don't know if many of you know, but Jerry Lee is gone. And we're going to play this song, one of his. Jerry Lee will live forever. We all know that.
Well,
left the hard.
you know, I don't believe these lies and smears about Mr. Dylan.
But even if they were true, Jack would still continue to listen
It
to
can
him.
alienate half the Real Politik fan base here by simply asking where Richie Edwards falls on that league table.
Whoa, is he a paedophile?
He allegedly dabbled with underage sex workers when they were abroad on tour at some point. I want to say Thailand. It's one of those things. It's not like officially on the record, but people who are close to the band have sort of hinted that he did some dodgy
Oh, so
stuff.
it's like the rock
they
star
thought-
version
sort
of...
Have they thought of looking there for him?
Just-
Like, one gentleman, Mr. Andrew Spooner, came forward and
I was-
said that he had in fact met Mr. Edwards. a
I
number
was
of
going to
years
say,
back.
like, if the alternative is hanging out with Andrew Spooner in some dodgy expats bar or worse, I would actually throw myself off a bridge.
Yes, let's make it legally clear. Andrew Spooner went to Thailand, not for sex workers, but, I don't know, he's into Muay Thai or something. But yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis...
I would like to keep my position legally ambiguous on Andrew Spooner in Thailand.
Yeah,
I would
all
not
I'll
like to
say
issue
is-
any clarifications at all.
There is no legal evidence that Andrew Spooner went to Thailand to have milk to underage. Milk. That's all I'll say.
Not that we've seen.
But yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis. That was like the impetus for Johnny Polio, which was
Yeah.
for a long time just a joke between me and Jack in the WhatsApps.
Yeah,
Well, he
but,
invented Johnny Polio.
well, as you explained on probably our last episode, Johnny Polio is like a combination of the worst aspects of Jerry Lee Lewis and Gary Glitter. So like that's
But
two
still way
generations.
worse.
two generations of like pedo rock musician.
Yeah, like Johnny Polio is coming up in season 2. Yeah, he's in the 70s episode, isn't he?
He is, yes.
He does have one line where he just shouts, "I fuck kids."
Well, that line, you know, needs to make it through focus groups and so forth first. Yeah, there's some funny stuff with Johnny Polio in Gapecast season 2, that's for sure.
But yeah, like I say, like Johnny Polio was just originally a joke between me and Jack in the WhatsApp groups. Oh, and the other group me and Jack are a part of where we kept talking about Johnny Polio.
Yeah, same with Jerry Lee Lewis, actually. Then the next thing you know, there's this little thing called rock and roll that's gonna... Because, you know, let's be real, this is the king of rock and roll. Like, that pussy Elvis, like, he's got nothing on the killer.
Yeah, and that's why Jerry Lee Lewis tried to kill him.
The killer tried to kill I mean, I guess not his finest moment as a
Do
killer.
you think that bit's in like the Elvis film where you just got like a 2-minute scene of a drunk guy played by Gary Busey driving up to Graceland with a gun?
Have any of you seen the Jerry Lee Lewis film that they did in like the late?
Oh yes, Great Balls
I
of Fire.
haven't, no.
The late 80s.
It's great. It is really fun, and that features a young Dennis Quaid in full eye-popping Vince McMahon mode.
Like, how much of it of Jerry Lee Lewis does it feature in it? Like, does it feature his like marriage to his 14-year-old cousin?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, straight
Oh,
up.
wow.
It's
But
got
they had got a lot of actual Jerry Lee Lewis like help them make it.
Yeah.
Did they not like dub his vocals in during the performance sequences?
Yeah, they did.
He
He
helped
wrote
to
them
make
on the
he helped to
soundtrack.
make it, and he made sure.
He
Like,
said
yeah, make sure you
he said
include my marriage to
sensibly
my
that he hates
14-year-old
the
cousin.
film, but he was heavily. I guess he was probably skint, wasn't he? So you know. They
Oh, yeah, it was
thousands
huge
of
for him
pounds
commercially.
to sing some songs and
Yeah.
get his back catalogue selling again. But yeah, there is an extensive subplot where we point out you're a paedophile and a child molester.
Yeah, it's like he's just released his new hit single, High School confidential.
I did
Doing
not.
the high school bop, doing the high school bop, and then he goes on a UK tour, and he gets off a plane with this like child, and everyone's like, "Hey, is this your daughter?" And he's like, "No, this is my wife." And then he like gets cancelled by the 1957 British media.
Kind of woke Stasi.
Yeah, but woke Stasi. You can't say or marry anything these days. Well, thankfully for Jerry Lee, he was able to reinvent himself as a successful country star in subsequent decades, because I guess, like, they were all fucking each other's cousins or whatever and being pedos. Sorry, I actually like country music. I'm just being a fucking dick.
Jesus, this film was a massive flop. Like,
Oh, really?
made a loss. Yeah, like cost sort of 16, 17 million-ish dollars and only made less than 14 back.
Shit.
Oh, I like the fact that like, Jerry Lewis was a consultant on the film, and he was probably like, no, keeping all the stuff about me and my 14-year-old cousin wife. Like, we've got to gloss over that. No, keep it all in.
The soundtrack, I bet the soundtrack sold. Maybe. He re-recorded his music. Well, he doesn't say anything about how it sold on here. But yeah, wow. I assumed that this film was massively popular because...
Jack watches it all the time.
Because you only watch like weird rock biopics.
Yeah, this is
24/7.
like a gigantic film in my world with a star-studded cast including Mojo Nixon as James Van Eaton, Peter Cook as British reporter, and Jerry Lewis credited as the killer himself on vocals and piano in the musical segments.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, wasn't there Mojo Nixon in the Super Mario Brothers film as well?
Oh, maybe. I know him because he did some records of Jello Biafra.
Yeah, I'm sure like he played
Jelly
a Toad.
Biffa, as Mike Gates calls him.
I'm sure he played a Toad in the
He
Super
did,
Mario
he
Brothers
did.
film.
Jesus Christ. It's been so long since I've seen that film, I can't even remember what Toad looked like in the film.
Man, Alec Baldwin is in this film, is in Great Balls of Fire, so you have actually got a real killer in
Oh, yeah, you got a killer in the
Retroactively,
killer.
yeah. Foreshadowing.
But can you like blame Alec Baldwin? Like, if you know, I was on a film set and was a live gun, and was like, yeah, I want to test this out.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics of that.
Like, I'm sure like Clint Eastwood killed a shitload of extras in like in the Italian spaghetti westerns.
It's covered up by the
just
Malpaso
bring him one at the end of the
machine.
day if it was a long day on set, just to like, get it out of his system.
Yeah, it's like so angry at seeing non-white people in Italy.
You know,
bringing a gun.
You know, Clint Eastwood is actually not really into guns. He's not a big gun guy. He's actually a very sensitive artist.
Oh, is he like more into cars? Like he's got that
Probably.
film where he's really into his car and also racism.
The Gran Torino.
I've never seen that. I just know.
Man, such a fucking travesty when Jamie Cullum takes over the lead vocals from Clint on that tune. One of the greatest crimes of the 21st century.
Incidentally, have you seen Ringo Starr's tribute to Jerry Lee Lewis on the timeline?
Yes, wishing his family well.
Yeah. God bless Jerry Lee Lewis, peace and love to all his family, Ringo. And he's included a photo with a tweet of Ringo Starr, just in case you didn't know who he was actually saying it.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, yeah, I can imagine there are possibly members of Jerry Lee's family who want to. It would be too sad to see the back of him. I don't know if he had any.
Some of them are dead.
I don't know if he had any kids with that wife that he murdered, or the other one before her who died in quite suspicious circumstances.
Yeah, he's very much like the Norman Mailer of music, where, yeah, he killed his wife, but also very talented.
Did Norman Mailer kill his wife, or are you thinking of William S. Burroughs?
Oh, it might be William S. Burroughs. Oh no, Norman Mailer like tried to kill his wife. William S. Burroughs did kill his wife.
Okay.
We're getting esoteric with the libel this week. It's good.
This is not libel, right?
No, you've clarified. You've clarified now.
It's on the record. William S. Burroughs shot his wife dead in a drunken game with William Tell. And I don't know about the Mailer thing.
The Mailer thing was like he stabbed his wife at a party.
Fuck it. Oh
And
yeah,
refused-
I see that.
And then refused to let people call an ambulance.
What the fuck? That's insane.
Yeah, like they partied hard in those days.
He had stabbed
you know,
her to relieve her of cancer, and he was committed because of that for 17 days.
Yeah, it's like you'd be at a party, you'd have Norman Mailer, William Burroughs, Jerry Lewis, all just killing their wives.
Well, Jerry Lewis didn't almost. Obviously, I misheard FFF there. The incident, the stabbing, I mean, has been a focal point for feminist critics of Mailer. Yeah, no shit.
No shit.
I bet it fucking has.
You stab one woman and they never shut up about it.
It's like a much more minor point. Where, like, so I read somewhere, or someone said to me, like, you know how Bruce Springsteen says "little girl" all the time in his songs. Yeah, that has been a point of critique among feminists, feminist critiques of Springsteen, and you just think, yeah, yeah, you know, it's like, of course, yeah, you can see why. So, like, they interview him, a genius, a musical genius, a lyrical genius, a fashion icon.
Like, this is all me talking about Gary Glitter.
Man, that was so fucking funny that Rishi Sunak used the Gary Glitter
Yeah, well, he's saying he didn't. I've not even watched the video yet, because I just want to assume he did, because it's funnier. But
I'd love for you to use Rock and Roll Part 2.
Yeah, I mean, like
it's going down the steps of Penn Downing Street on his tiny little legs. Like him a Joker.
That beat, I sincerely doubt that, like, one of his aides, like, looped the drum intro to the Gary Glitter song from the original record. However, I don't think you can copyright a drum beat. Therefore, that's a beat that you can just use to, like, invoke. I now say invoke, like, 500 times in this bit when I clearly mean to say evoke. Essentially copyrighted material, you know? So, like, you bring that beat in because you want to invoke the Gary Glitter song, the scene in Joker where the Joker dances to it.
Good song.
To invoke the Marilyn Manson song that uses it, or the Kanye West song Black Skinhead. So there's, like, a range of choices here. Like,
some of which are up to 5% less problematic.
Yeah, as it is, I think he just used, like, glitterbeat.mp3 off free, non-copyrighted
royalty-free cover of it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. An interpolation rather than a sample, if you know what I mean.
Did the Glitter band not put out a version, like, just them doing it so that people could get them royalties and not have Gary Glitter get a penny? Because, like, they're genuinely some of the victims in all of this.
Yeah, I suppose they're real victims of Gary Glitter.
Not the first ones you think of, but they are a lesser victim.
The Glitter band are a glam rock band from England. Yeah. Note the present tense. Not were, who initially worked as Gary Glitter's backing band under that name from 1973, when they then began releasing records of their own. Although they briefly called themselves the G Band from 1976 to 77, and Air Traffic Control from 78 to 9, they have since then been known as the Glitter Band, including, presumably, continuously since 1997, when the name Glitter
became Mud, basically. Yeah.
Became Mud. Yeah, they've had legal issues with Gary Glitter, but it was him suing them.
Yeah, I mean their income took a big hit because they're forever associated with him. So I can kind of understand them still going, but you think they'd want to do a bit more to make it obvious they're distancing themselves from him in the name. They should do a tour with the rest of Lost Prophets that aren't the singer. They should just call it that it wasn't our fault tour. And get fucking H from Steps as the new frontman for Lost Prophets.
Yeah, like any of the Lost Prophets or the Gary Glitter Band appeared in Ringo Starr's All-Star Band.
Unfortunately not, no. He didn't quite embrace new metal and what came along with it.
God, imagine these guys, man. Like, so generally, if you were like in a successful band in the 70s and you weren't the main guy, and you maybe didn't have too many of the songwriting royalties, and you're slogging it out touring, trying to make ends meet decades after, like, that's a hard life as it is. When you factor in that their singer was Gary Glitter, these guys are just gonna be like just miserably like slogging it from like dingy club to not even club's probably generous, like two people and a dog in a room.
It'll be like the back room of pubs, like, you know, the League of Gentlemen bit with Creme Brulee and the guy that it's just got a whole band of that guy where they've all failed and then are deeply embittered.
This rules on Denham's back in Denham album in 1992. Lawrence got a couple of members of the Glitter Band to appear. But obviously
That's nice.
That was 92, and that album is so indebted to 70s glam rock, and that's kind of a cool thing.
Probably didn't sell well enough to make him much money, but it's a nice thought.
You know what will have made him shitloads of money? The fact that the first track on What's the Story, Morning Glory interpolates his song Hello, It's Good to Be Back.
Yes.
They just start singing the chorus to one of his songs.
Fans, isn't it?
Matt Morgan did ask Noel about that on their podcast before they stopped doing it because the tabloids discovered them making fun of disabled people on the podcast.
That's our job.
That's well, alright, it's not ours, it's FFF.
No, I didn't mean our job, I meant the tabloid's job.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I reject that characterisation of our work. I can't remember what Noel actually said about that. I think he was like, yeah, he probably does get paid off it, you know. You know, we talked before about Gary Glitter putting out Roger Daltrey's Eye almost with the mic at the Prince's Trust concert in 1996. I saw some quote from Daltrey. It was like, if I'd have known what he was into, I would have put his lights out.
Oh, Jack, have you ever seen The Hanging of Gary Glitter?
No, but that was like, wasn't that one of the first hallmark shows of when they did more for? Was
Probably
that right?
Would have been
I can't remember. I remember it being very funny.
But yeah, just an absurd concept that somehow got made and was incredible. Like
the execution of Gary Glitter.
Yeah. That's one, yeah.
Yeah, they've obviously come up with like, let's do a serious drama about bringing the death penalty back and framing it around a controversial, high-profile case and what it would shape. And then they thought, is anyone going to fucking watch this? Right, let's make it a real celebrity, someone too disgraced to credibly sue us. and someone who isn't super litigious like Jimmy Savile, because he was still alive at the time.
Yeah, so this was on Channel 4, not just More 4.
Oh yeah, it was definitely
the real deal.
On primetime.
Yeah, I remember it differently. I remember like they had. This didn't actually happen, but I remember there had to be like an audience ring-in, and you had to decide at the end whether Gary Glitter would get hanged or not. Obviously, like, this didn't happen, like, this was just in my head, but that's how I remember it.
Yeah, was there a reality TV element to it?
But wasn't. This is like, this just exists purely in my head. This is how I remember it. But in my head was a phone in, and that wasn't a real life.
You've watched too much 90s wrestling where they just randomly have like a phone call and like O.J. Simpson didn't do it to try and make some money when the wrestling company was struggling. My head.
It's my head trying to make it even funnier.
This is some like fascist dystopia stuff here. Glitter is told there are no mitigating circumstances shown. He is sentenced to death. Due to concerns over extreme waiting time on death row, the law requests his sentence is to be carried out within 30 days. So, like, no time to, see if the verdict might be wrong. The government's just like, right, sentence him to get death, kill him. Like, get it over and done with.
It's going to be a deeply misconceived program when they, as themselves, section of the cast is Miranda Sawyer, sort of arsehole contrarian music journalist, Anne Widdecombe as herself, Gary Bushy as himself.
Yeah, Charles Paul made some poor choices in there. Programming. Yeah, you'd have your old fashion when occasionally you'd have a Gary Glitter getting hanged.
Fuck, maybe we should watch this. I mean, it sounds like an incredible document of a debate that was going on in Britain. Because I remember there was like a load, I know we like to think, we specifically us on this podcast like to think of the new Labour years as kind of like a utopia.
Yes.
Where we all lived in a land of milk and honey, everyone was linking arm in arm, dancing over the hill with a rainbow in the sky. But actually,
a sure
there was
start centre on every street corner.
A sure start centre in every home. There was a lot of talk about bringing back the death penalty for whatever reason.
You say for whatever reason. What it was specifically is that fucking Guido Fawkes and all their mates would campaign about it every couple of years and try and start a petition.
Oh, right.
They'd try and pin it on the sort of Jezza Clarkson is a legend, Clarkson for Prime Minister sort of crowd, and aggressively market it on social media, like bring back the death penalty while you're at it. And then that would then obviously give the tabloids this was before they all employed Harry Cole and people like that, but it would give them a plausible excuse to be like, the public are crying out for the death penalty, and we think they should bring it back as well, by the way. This was like late New Labour. This was Gordon Brown era. So
2009.
That was absolute. That was the culture wars of the day. It was just like
it was powered by the
tabloids. All that
tabloids.
reheated shit. Yeah, this was full on Gordon Brown stole the gold era. Scottish conspiracy to undermine British democracy as mainstream conspiracy madness.
Yeah, but still, if you brought back a referendum for bringing back the death penalty, it would be 70-30. Yeah, most people in England do want to bring back hanging.
Yeah. That is a sort of British thing as well. There's be lots of people in Britain where if you were just talking about nothing really, and you just started a conversation like, should we bring back the death penalty? They'd be like, oh, I don't know, I don't really know, not really sure, don't care. But if you did it when there's anyone bad in the news at all, or if you framed it as should we bring back the death penalty for Gary Glitter or for Ian Huntley or something, they'll not only be like, yes, absolutely we should, but they will tell you in great detail how they are a better parent than Madeleine McCann's parents or whoever it is, or they will tell you if it's someone who's like a paedophile or a murderer, how they would actually like to inflict much greater violence on them than hanging or lethal injection. And it's every time you have this conversation, it's so purely performative. It's like the person feels like you will judge them, that you will judge them if you only give them a quick death for their crimes or something.
Yeah, and that's why parents did that thing to Johnny Polio.
Well, to be fair, he definitely did deserve it.
He definitely deserved it. That whole thing was a reference to Lady Sympathy. Sympathy for Lady Vengeance, that's the one, yes.
Really good film.
Yeah, I've heard Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, but Sympathy for Lady Vengeance.
Oh, yeah. Is it Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance and then just Lady Vengeance?
No, there's an old boy in the middle.
No, I know, but I mean in terms of the name.
Oh yeah, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, old boy, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. I thought Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance was a lot more morally ambiguous and a lot better for it.
It leaves it up for debate whether murder is morally.
Yeah, at the end it's I understand why you did everything, but also I have to kill you.
Yeah, that is pretty moral ambiguous. Okay, so this fucking film has a fraction of a Wikipedia page of the execution of Gary Glitter, but it is listed under See Also. The Taking of Prince Harry is a 2010 British TV docufiction which shows the fictional capture of Prince Harry in Afghanistan. It shows the Cabinet Office Briefing Room Committee going into action and his eventual escape during a US drone attack. And so they're like, oh yeah, so the US have just got to create a distraction, then Prince Harry would be cunning enough to escape with his genius military skills.
Can't have him not do SAS shit.
Yes, for people hated. This was before people hated Prince Harry. Because he married a black woman.
Yeah. No, this was when he was a right-wing hero because he was in the army and wore a Nazi uniform.
Yes, yeah. He was Banter Harry. He was like a sort of mini toned-down version of the Duke of Edinburgh in terms of the image they were trying to do for him.
Remember when Emma Dent Code made fun of Prince Harry in his military service, and she was like, he just sat in the cockpit of his airplane going, vroom, vroom, vroom.
Oh my god! So. I'm now literally just clicking around Wikipedia on stuff relating to Gary Glitter, which is alarming. The Ultimate Gary Glitter, 25 Years of Hits, is the greatest hits album by Gary Glitter. It was originally released in the United Kingdom in 1997 on the label Snapper Music, days after his arrest for possession of child pornography.
Days after!
So that's like Harry Cole's book on Liz Truss level of bad timing.
Oh my god, they would totally, because I see they'd obviously have the release ready and everything, but like, nowadays they would just pull it. They would be like, it's not worth the PR hit of putting this out. But they were just like, well, we've spent all this money having a CDs produced.
Do we know we've got FF who's going to come in and buy it all?
Yeah, maybe they were like, oh well, he'll be very visible due to the media's coverage of his child pornography conviction.
Despite all this, the critical reception section on Wikipedia is just one really positive 4.5-star review.
Was it all music guides?
Yeah, it's all music guides. Yeah, the one that's on every single.
They've reviewed everything.
They literally have.
It is the all music guide. They're not fucking kidding. So I've just been looking what was Gary Glitter's most recent studio album. It turns out that he hasn't released an album of new material since 2001.
That's a shame.
And this album On. It contains new recordings of songs that were only ever performed live during Glitter's last concerts in 1996 and 7. The album was released in 2001, 2 years after Glitter's UK conviction for possession. Okay, so I guess he was arrested for it in 97 and then convicted in 99.
Influence on other...
Geraint, you're the Glitter man here. Sorry.
Influence on other musicians, and the very first entry on the list is Marky Smith was a Glitter fan. I was really into Gary Glitter, and I used to get bad mouth for it. It was like, you've got to be into David Bowie, or yes, Gary Glitter's just tripe. And I was going, it's fucking great, it's avant-garde. It was the only decent thing around, the full frontman said in 1993.
Hey, see, Jack, I'm no more problematic than Marky Smith.
I mean, Marky Smith was a pretty...
I mean, you could do it. You could do similar... There's probably similar age gaps with Marky Smith and his wives. It was just like, he was old as fuck at the time, so it was fine.
Yeah, Marky Smith also used to, like, throw pint glasses at his collaborators and stuff.
Oh, this album was available only for a short time through Glitter's website and sold 5,000 copies worldwide. Not very much.
It's just a mailing list thing. That doesn't count. It's like when
Gary Glitter.
It's like when Jonathan King joined Cooked and Bombed.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And entered into long-term correspondence with his new friend Louis Barth.
Yes, I remember that. Actually, I don't remember that. I remember hearing that from you. Great.
Lads, should I download this Gary Glitter album on SoulSeek?
No, you'll go on a list. You'll
go
on a register that you are actually downloading the dodgiest shit on SoulSeek.
God bless the people who like cool music.
By Gary Glitter. Yeah. 9 of the 12 titles on the album, including the ballad Never Want the Rain, were co-written by Glitter with Martin Jenkins. The other 3 tracks were new recordings of early Glitter titles.
Who's fucking co-writing songs with Gary Glitter in the 21st century?
But it said that he was playing songs on his 96 and 7 tour. Martin Jenkins over here. Oh, well, but Glitter has not issued a new studio album since On. He has continued to release singles. As children are a major audience of pop music, controversy arose around the release of the album On, due to the assertions that Glitter was exploiting children. MP Tom Watson considered writing to the Home Secretary.
Like, it was a bit more of an assertions.
Yeah, I know. Tom Watson considered writing to the Home Secretary David Blunkett to block the album's release. Then he considered. He was like, oh no, wait, Blunkett is a huge fan. He'll never go for that. He said Glitter should be at the very least handled with care. And in response to the complaints, the British phonographic industry issued a statement saying Glitter was now a free man and there were no legal reasons the album could not be released. Take back cancel culture.
I love that Gary Glitter in 1987 released Rock and Roll's Part 3, 4, 5, and 6, and they didn't chart anywhere in the world.
He's just like, okay, I'm really gonna lean into the rock and roll thing at this point.
Maybe if they'd never caught him, if he'd never taken his computer in for repair, he'd be on like Rock and Roll Part 33 by now. It would be his magnum opus.
Okay, so it seems like he's released 3 singles since On. No, okay, this doesn't even count. Okay, so he released 2. He released in 2004 a song called Control, and in 2005 a song called Field of Dreams. And then in the 2010s, in 2019, his song Rock and Roll Part 2 was re-released with the B-side of Rock and Roll Part 1.
Was it re-released, or did it chart purely on downloads and streaming?
It was definite. Well, it had a B-side for whatever reason, but yeah,
that's the original B-side, isn't it?
It was because of Joker. Like,
yeah,
it was
100%.
It's 100%.
Yeah,
because of Joker, and it was a bigger hit in America because it's obviously like their number one. Play it during the football games and stuff. Honestly, like it's like people out there who haven't got a clue who Gary Glitter is, and obviously he didn't have as broadly successful a career in the 70s and 80s as he did here. They will know that song more than they know 2/3 of the canon, because it's the song they play for the cheerleaders at every NFL or high school football game they've ever seen. Rock and Roll Part 2.
It's
instrumental, so there wasn't there isn't that
happened.
like association with like who sings this and actually I've looked he's a paedophile. Oh shit.
He had another backing band in the 70s called Glitter Men. You know Joker Men? They did the Bob Dylan podcast where they named themselves after the song Joker Man. How about we do a Glitter Men podcast where we review every Gary Glitter album?
Oh man, I'm so annoyed to solve the idea from us, because otherwise I would do that with Jack and it'd just be I'll be just like, what the fuck are you doing, Beth? Why are you doing this?
He's only got 7 albums. Plus a live album called Remember Me This Way. You remember me before you knew I was paedophile.
But yeah, Jack's so annoyed about people playing Rock and Roll Part 2 where everyone is still playing Great Balls of Fire by Jerry Lee Lewis, even in the Top Gun film originally. They knew he was a paedophile, even back in the 80s. But he played it on the piano. Everyone plays that on the piano when they can. If they have no talent.
That's so awesome that he's like a Jerry Lee Lewis fan.
Yeah, it's I'm a big fan of marrying your 14-year-old cousin. Let me play this on the piano. Yeah, that cunt deserves to die.
Playing the high school bop on the piano. When I go for my Zoot, I'm going to listen to the rest of the 2009 U2 album, No Line on the Horizon.
Why do you do it to yourself?
I actually like that one. It's the only post-2000 U2 album I have any time.
That implies there's 3 2009 albums you like by U2?
No, I said post-2000.
Okay, so what are your favourite U2 albums, Jack? What U2 are you
like
listening
the same
to
fucking...
whilst we're away?
What's my favourite U2 albums? Like the fucking ones everyone likes, like Joshua Tree and Acting Baby.
Oh yeah, everyone likes, apart from 1, 2. Everyone fucking...
Oh yeah, sorry. I mean, apart from people like you who just listen to like Japanese paedophiles and Gary.
The list of U2 records that everyone likes is literally that one song from that Batman soundtrack. That's it.
Right, yeah. I mean, they're good. They're... Are we going to start pretending that U2 aren't popular now?
I'm not going to pretend they're not popular. They're not pretend they're not shit.
They're legacy popular now. It's just all the same people that liked them 20 and 30 years ago that like them now.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if they're appealing to the kids on TikTok or whatever. I mean, we can't all be.
We can't all be Gary Glitter fans.
We can't all be the kid. I hear the kids on TikTok love Gary Glitter. He's even set up his own account on there, as I understand it, to interact directly with his young fans.
Okay, man, you go and smoke your suit.
Yeah. On that note, bring it back to Gary Glitter. We've talked about all the major issues anyway, like Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah,
We've covered most of the main paedophiles in music history now.